You cannot escape God. I'm gonna say that again. You cannot escape God, not even with the mask or 6 feet. Okay, 6 feet, like I said before, is military protocol. You're trying to get the people to train them, so when the cameras, the 5G comes out, what? They're gonna scan everybody. We got to get scanned. We got to get temperatured. The kids have to go to school with masks. Are you insane? Are you crazy?
Honestly, so like this woman has brought it back for me. She is my favorite person. Also, I'm going to point out that now this is making fun of a woman of color for telling her own truth, because we all know that what matters is your own truth. She threw in all the conspiracy theories in there. The masks are getting you, the masks are hurting you, the 5G, like that's hurting you and all that. Like she mixed all of them up in there and threw them out. And like what I admire about her, and it's again being undercut slightly about with the music, is she's super confident. Like you can say whatever you want, but she believes what she's saying. So the next video that I have is Florida's anti-maskers. I'm sure you guys have seen this or clips from this before. It's pretty funny. In general, you know, I think when you go to a grocery store, especially if you're inside like a public space, then you should probably like wear a mask because, you know, your droplets and all that jazz. Like, you know, that seems to be what the experts are saying. But, you know, I'm saying that as a non-scientist. There have been, you know, like there was actually, I think Broward County, Florida, put out an ordinance that you have to wear masks in your own home, which is ridiculous. So yeah, there is overreach. I'm not saying that there hasn't been overreach in the in terms of Florida law, but in general, like if you're out in public, especially if it's the store policy, you know, like respect people's private property, then just wear one. It's not a big deal. Like I have them right here. They're not like, you know, anything special. I'm not going to virtue signal and like put them on for you. Like you guys know what to do. I don't, you know, I would think that the distancing is more important, like being apart from people that you don't know, not going to major parties. But, you know, and obviously outside, I think the science has shown that outside is not that big of a deal. Distancing is more important outside, obviously, but like the amount of like open air transmissions outside, especially on warm days, and we're moving into the summer months, are not low. But what do I know? Because we have some Floridians that have a different take on this whole thing. And by the way, hashtag not all Floridians. Like, you know, let's keep that clear. But this video is funny, so I'm gonna play it for a little bit, and you know, let's see.
Wear a mask for the same reason I don't wear underwear. Things gotta breathe.
All right. So first of all, that woman, A+, top tier, first class all the way. Like a lot of these people are in the a little bit on the crazy train, but some of them are just hilarious. And that woman was like, that was a mic drop. I don't know about her other testimony. Maybe she's a little more goofy, but you know, that one was pretty funny. I didn't think they were gonna.
I don't wear a mask for the same reason I don't wear underwear. Things gotta breathe.
Thank you for your comments, ma'am.
And they went.
That's A+. I mean, come on. Again, who says women can't be funny? Come on, guys. And that was a vagina joke. Like that's the best. That's a better joke than Amy Schumer has ever told in the last 10 years. So, yeah. Like, you know. So, icky though. Like if you know anything about women, that's icky.
To throw God's wonderful breathing system out the door. You're all turning your backs on it.
In the beginning, God formed man out of the earth and breathed his breath in him, and he became a living soul.
You know what's really bothering me about this? The lip smacking. Like the goofy thing, you know, the goofy talk and all that, that's fine. But the lip smacking, and yeah, I actually agree. The background music is totally unnecessary. Like I get now this is a far left kind of thing, but they're trying to make like it doesn't need to be hammed up to be more ridiculous. So yeah, it's kind of, you know, a little bit obnoxious. And by a little bit obnoxious, I mean, you know, a lot of bit obnoxious. Like, so.
Where do you derive the authority to regulate human breathing? What you say is the political dogma that they're trying to shove down our throats on every commercial, in every store, and it's disgusting.
Every single
Her lip smacking is just that's honestly the most off-putting thing. It's also like really weird that you're letting them all move up to the microphone and breathe on the microphone when you're trying to talk about the efficacy of wearing a mask. Like their droplets would be on there. Also, I'm not going to say anything because, you know, any comment about women is an attack on all women, as we've learned from our last segment with Ocasio-Cortez. But there is a very disproportionate demographic being presented here of people freaking out about this. Lip smacking droplets. Yeah, no, I'm being serious. And like I have the headphones in so you guys don't hear echo. So that like smacking is like right in there. Like, it's unfortunate. Somebody get a pop filter.
one of you that are obeying the devil's laws are going to be arrested. And you, doctor, are going to be arrested for crimes against humanity.
Let me ask you all, do you believe you're God?
She is my favorite out of all of them. Crimes against humanity. Like I thought she said war crimes, but crimes against humanity. That's what they're going to be arrested for. First of all, they're the government. They're not going to get arrested for anything. Also, I found out that some of this like anti-mask stuff comes from a documentary called like the Plandemic, I think. And like they had like a one person who somehow became a doctor, even though she's not relevant in that field, saying that you breathe your own COVID out into the mask and it goes back in. That's complete and utter nonsense. It's total misinformation. If you already have the thing in your system, like that's not how it works. So what's unfortunate is they took that like fake documentary down before I could watch it. And when you take conspiracy stuff like that down off of all the platforms, you end up adding it more legitimacy, because part of the way that they're selling it to you is that it's somehow like being censored by the government. Like they don't want you to know this. And the fact that social media companies are coordinating with them, I think ends up putting a negative impact. Also, remember, the government was telling us not to wear masks before, and there's been mixed research about how exactly effective it is. So like we have like the government has lost its credibility. And in certain states, I have to be like 100% honest, like certain states, they go way too far. Like some of them say you have to wear them in your own home. Like, first of all, how are you going to enforce that? Second of all, that's ridiculous. Like you can't control what people do in their own homes.
Do you believe you can override God's divine plan for our lives? You're removing our freedoms and stomping on our constitutional rights by these communist dictatorship orders or laws you want to mandate.
Palm Beach County. Okay. I was in West Palm Beach at a hotel where that was on the same island as Mar-a-Lago. I honestly am starting to like look at this video, and I thought it was going to be more funny, but it's honestly like, except for that woman that's like really going hard, like the crimes against humanity, like this seems like really cruel. You know what I mean? Like that last woman, like she's like stumbling on her words. She doesn't look comfortable public speaking. Like there's something that seems a little bit off about her. Like this seems like now this is just, you know, like it's okay to make fun of people, even if they may or may not have certain like disabilities, if they're spouting the opposite political opinions that you hold. So it's actually a little bit like, honestly, I'm getting a little salty about this.
They'll get together.
It's also the music, like they're so much trying to ham up that it's ridiculous. Like this woman's speech, I've heard it on its own, is way better without the music.
We will get together and do a citizen's arrest on every single human being that goes against the freedom of choice. Okay? You literally cannot mandate somebody to wear a mask knowing that that mask is killing people. It literally is killing people.
All right. I want to hear this woman.
one of you have a smirk behind that little mask, but every single one of you are going to get punished by God. You cannot escape God. You cannot escape God. I'm gonna say that again. You cannot escape God, not even with the mask or 6 feet. Okay, 6 feet, like I said before, is military protocol. You're trying to get the people to train them so when the cameras, the 5G comes out, what? They're gonna scan everybody. We got to get scanned. We got to get temperatured. The kids have to go to school with masks. Are you insane? Are you crazy?
Honestly, so like this woman has brought it back for me. She is my favorite person. Also, I'm going to point out that now this is making fun of a woman of color for telling her own truth, because we all know that what matters is your own truth. She threw in all the conspiracy theories in there. The masks are getting you, the masks are hurting you, the 5G, like that's hurting you and all that. Like she mixed all of them up in there and threw them out. And like what I admire about her, and it's again being undercut slightly with the music, is she's super confident. Like you can say whatever you want, but she believes what she's saying. Like she's holding it down.
I think all of you should be in a psych ward right the heck now.
Much of our communication is not.
Yeah, and she wraps it up with the powerful thing. See, like there's another woman that's like a slow talker. Notice these are all women, and I didn't pick this. This is now this video. This is a progressive lefty like outlet.
Nonverbal, which includes facial expressions, gestures displayed, and the physical distance between the communicators. How will young children be able to know who the dangerous deviants are, like pedophiles and people in the human sex trafficking?
You didn't.
That took a turn I was not expecting. First of all, if you could just tell by, I guess maybe like I'm trying to extrapolate some reason out of what that woman just said. I guess maybe she's saying like if they're on the registry and you put their photo up in the neighborhood, then they won't be able to see the face of that guy. Like maybe that's what she's trying to say. It's a weirdly, oddly specific thing to be upset about. Now they have the dude here, first dude here. I think we've run through 5 women before we had a dude, but yeah, I like this comment. It says it's all connected. Yeah, it's all connected. Sean, Washington State wants to send minorities back to school the first. My conspiracy. Oh yeah, so this is what I was told, is that apparently they're pushing the idea that minority students should be allowed to go to schools first, and like white students have to stay home, and like that's ridiculously weird. Like I guess you could reduce the amount of students that are going to the schools, but the idea that you would do it racially is like, you know, it's as insane as now this is trying to present these people. Somebody's like, I'm a Christian, but this blows. Yeah, no, these are conspiracy theories. They're not like, you know, they're not like, this is not a Christian thing.
Not listen to we the people. I would die for that country. I would die for the Constitution. You know what? You disgrace me. You know why? You did not listen to we the people. You made your decision.
I haven't worn a mask.
Okay. I mean, that guy had energy. See, they're cutting that guy. I don't know. I assume because it's in the mask thing that he's flipping out about the mask. But like, unlike some of those other videos, he didn't mention masks. So it could be something else that he's angry about. Yeah, this is not like a throw shade at Christians thing. This is like a general Floridians. They had this weird press conference. When I found this video, I didn't think that they were gonna like mix in the goofy music there. But yeah, it's kind of lame. Oh, and I just bumped the mic.
Yet, I'm not wearing it today. Besides, despite what you guys do up here today, I'm not wearing one tomorrow. I was born free. I will stay free. My rights come from God, not from you. I'm not wearing it. You're going to have to hold me down and put it on me.
We are a nation of shared values of freedom, liberty, equality. We are home of the free.
So this woman is wearing like one of the most Florida shirts of all time. Yeah, I mean, they're all saying the same thing except for that one woman, the maybe Latina woman, that was like going super hard and talking about crimes against humanity and the 5G and all that. Somebody says, yeah, that would be Florida Man. No, for sure, that was Florida Man. Oh my God, look at that shirt. Oh, her shirt or my shirt? Because my shirt is available at my Teespring store, teespring.com/store/actualjusticewarrior. Use promo code DUMBPROMO for 10% off. But I think you're talking about this shirt right here. Yeah, that's like the most Florida shirt of all time. Like there's a different breed of that shirt in Hawaii, but it has like that similar like loud colorful pattern, but that's like the Florida version of that shirt. That's what they wear there. This is the Floridian in her natural habitat.
Land of the brave. This is America, as someone else spoke. This is not Cuba. We are not in a communist nation.
Florida has become, so that's actually not true. If you actually look at the case by case, like Florida is getting a big spike, right? They never really had their first wave, but California has more cases than Florida and more cases than Texas. But, Democratic governor. Palm Beach County requires people to wear masks to enter all public spaces. All right, all right.
And I say Trump 2020, and I hope every one of you gets voted out who votes for a mask here today. Shame on you for voting for a mask.
Thank you, ma'am. Your time has-
And if you couldn't tell the political agenda, they wrapped it up with the Trump 2020. So obviously my favorite woman of all time was the one that was going so hard with the 5G and like all the conspiracies rolled into one. Top tier, first class all the way. But of course, like I was waiting for the Trump connection, and they leave that with you at the end because that gives you like the last impression bias to imply that the majority of these people are Trump supporters. Now, whether they are or they're not, that's neither here nor there. But like that's the implication that now this wants you to take home from it, because reasons. And that's why, by the way, because like it's being pushed as like a partisan narrative, that's why people are pushing back against it. It's also like general dishonesty from the government. Like first they said we didn't need them, even though in South Korea, like people immediately started wearing them. Like I would look not to the US government, not to documentaries on the internet or anything like that. I would look to South Korea because they dealt with with pandemics that originated from China. They got hit really hard by the bird flu that didn't really have that big of an impact over here because they were closer to China, and their protocols are all set up around a disease that's like communicable, similar to the bird flu, which happens to be similar to SARS-2. They've also been hit by SARS-1. So I would look to the South Koreans and the neighbors that are of China, like the people who have to deal with all these viruses that are coming out of there, like more frequently, for where I would get my information. So, that's what I would be looking for. The mask mandates are unconstitutional, but some of these people went a little bit too far. I mean, federal ones are unconstitutional, but like, you can have certain ordinances for safety on the state level. Like the states have more latitude than the federal government. So yeah, like, there's the ones in your home obviously wouldn't stand up, but obviously like the worst things that we've seen are the like discriminatory actions taken against religious institutions. Like I believe the Supreme Court upheld that the state of Nevada could restrict churches more strictly than they could restrict casinos, because Nevada had this weird standard where they would allow more people in a casino, even if a church was bigger than a casino, and the church was capped at 50 people. So like we don't have a First Amendment that protects your right to gamble and play craps and play blackjack. We have a First Amendment that protects your right to freedom of speech and freedom of religion and the free exercise thereof. So there were a bunch of churches that came together, and they weren't just like, irresponsible churches that wanted to be exempt because they were a church. They were churches that were like, well, we have a gigantic facility. we can keep people way more than 6 feet apart. And unlike in a casino where they're, you know, at the craps table and everybody gathers around this one table and they're all rolling the same die, like, we can actually separate people. So we should be able to open. And the court was like, no, the casino's more important. And you can read the dissenting opinions from Gorsuch and I think Alito on that one. And it's just ridiculous. So some of these restrictions don't make any sense. I understand why people, when they're looking at laws that make no sense, that they assume it's a power grab. A lot of politicians are trying to make a power grab. If you remember at the beginning of all this, people were pushing the idea that Trump is wasting this opportunity to rewrite the bargain between America and between its citizens, because this is a great opportunity. And if only we had a Democrat, if only we had Hillary Clinton, they would use this chance to rewrite the American bargain. So, you know, a lot of bad stuff happened. Why aren't they doing the right thing? Is it a partisan thing? Like leftists aren't Christian? I mean, there is a drive among the left to like shame and ridicule religious people. So like we saw this with New York City. So in New York City, while rioting was happening all over, people were just allowing like Bill de Blasio was cracking down on like Jewish kids playing in the park. These are kids playing outside. It's like a family playing outside in a park, open air, but at the same time you have all these people gathering and clustering, and Bill de Blasio goes out there with them to protest with them without a mask on himself, and that's okay. So yeah, there's definitely like a power grab motivation like in there, where Andrew Cuomo is talking about how he said that in order to serve liquor at a bar, you would have to serve food. So a bunch of bars like put out like $1 menus, like you get like some mozzarella sticks, some wings, whatever. Like, because, you know, they don't have giant kitchens. They don't typically serve food in order to open up the bars. And Cuomo came out and he was like, well, we're deeming that wings is not a meal. And then Cuomo goes on this weird like rant about how sandwiches are the lowest form of food that you could eat. So like we literally have politicians here in New York. And then after he did this in Pennsylvania, Governor Wolf tried to do the same thing, that are trying to like literally legislate or through executive fiat determine what constitutes a meal. So the power grab is happening. There are people who are just trying to expand their ability to control human behavior, even though it makes no sense. And you know it makes no sense because there is no study whatsoever that shows you that you will get the virus less because you have food in front of you. So there's nothing backing it. It's just Cuomo doesn't want a bunch of bars open. And we're not talking about clubs. We're talking about bars. Like it just doesn't make any sense. And you can open restaurants that serve alcohol. So there's also like, you know, little carve outs in there where they're like, these accounts, you know, like these people, like the restaurant industry is bigger in New York than the bar industry. So they're trying to, so probably you're doing a cutout. So like certain industries come back because these guys like picking winners and losers, but there's no logic behind it. Like it makes no sense. Like I get you don't want clubs open because people, you know, are dancing together and it's in an enclosed space and all that, but like it's just nonsensical. All right, I wish I had that video so I could play it for you, but honestly, like I don't have it, and it's hard for me to like pull it up right now because it's like a Twitter video. But yeah, my lunch on Tuesday are wings and definitely a meal. What's really funny is that in Pennsylvania, Governor Wolf is like, when you stop ordering food, you can't order any more drinks. Like, first of all, just let people order whatever they want at restaurants.